Hello and welcome to another Inertial Drift tutorial video. In this one we'll be talking about the Gecko RX. Gecko RX is an interesting car because most of the time, despite being a B-class car, its stats are actually comparable to C-class. And I imagine actually on a lot of tracks it would be beat out by the Ventus. And probably the Bullet too on stuff like downhill rapids reverse because of its very low acceleration. The Gecko RX has exactly one trick on its up its sleeve. If you've played Eba's campaign, then you probably know exactly what that is, and that is its ability to take shortcuts. It's able to take the snow shortcuts better than any other car in the game by a lot too. It basically has no deceleration on snow shortcuts, and it has increased handling on them too, just as an added bonus. It's also the only car in the game that's able to save time by taking the dirt shortcuts on Twin Glen Run. And that is because of, again, every other car decelerates a ton, whereas this car does not. Outside of shortcuts, it's a very weak car. So the only tracks it wins are tracks where the shortcuts is enough to actually compensate for the fact that it's not really that good if it's not on a shortcut. So those tracks are both directions of Snow Mountain Sprint, as well as both directions of Frozen Precipice and both directions of Twin Glen Run. I believe it might actually be possible for the Jester to be the one that wins Snow Mountain Sprint Reverse. Snow Mountain Sprint Reverse is not a track that's played often by really anyone, so it's hard to really call that. Again, its low acceleration wouldn't help it on the uphills. The question is its ability on the shortcut enough to counter the fact that Jester is just a really good car? And I'm not quite sure, but it's close. So we're going to be showing this car off on Snow Mountain Sprint forwards, just because the snow shortcuts is really the main trick of the Gecko RX. You can see here, Gecko RX times are about a second and a half ahead of Jester times. So the RX's handling is super weird. It builds up its drift extremely slowly. You can see how it's barely charging. This can be increased in a very strange way. You can hold down the brakes and let off the gas to increase your drift angle a lot, and then you can go back on the gas to basically lock that angle in place. It's super strange and takes a long time to get used to. I still wouldn't consider myself too good at it, but you can see it right there. By letting off the gas, going back on the brakes really quickly, I was able to lock the new angle I got from the brakes on there. Again, yeah, just if you see snow that's faster than the road, take the snow, because that's basically all this car has, and without it, it's nothing. So there's no point in really playing this car on tracks that don't have shortcuts, unless you just really like the car for some reason. But on these tracks, it really just excels. And again, just with these tighter corners, brake at the beginning, and then lock your angle in place by holding down the gas. And you can also brake mid-corner to slow down and turn a bit tighter, which helps for these really steep hairpins. And this is where, if you know Eba's campaign, this is where the Dragon will start to catch up to the RX. Now, in Eba's campaign, the Dragon can actually do that. Though, if you were to compare a top-level Dragon Ghost to a top-level RX Ghost, the Dragon wouldn't quite be able to make it in time. It'll be about a second off, or a second and a half, or 2 seconds. Not quite there. But that's showing that off. There is one more thing I would like to show off with the Gecko RX, and this is a little secret from me to you. Keep it on the down low. But there's kind of... On Frozen Precipice, there's some unique geometry on one of the turns. I'm actually going to show it off on reverse because I think it's easier to do in reverse, but it can be done on both directions. And it's right at the very beginning. Let's see if I can get it. But this is something that even makes the RX even more powerful. So this wall here, if we hit it the right angle, that was not the right angle, reset. If you fail it, reset. If you're wondering why there are like 52-second times on the leaderboard for this, it's this wall here. And we're going to reset because we didn't get it. But you'll know when you get it. Yep, there it is. So, for whatever reason, the geometry on that wall is extremely bugged. And because of that, the Gecko RX is able to basically accelerate the top speed. Other cars could theoretically do that. The problem is that they're decelerating on the snow. So as soon as they get the speed boost, they're going to start decelerating again. So it's not as powerful on other cars as it is with the Gecko RX, which is why I wanted to show it off specifically with the RX. And again, you can actually get it 2 times in a single lap on reverse, not on forwards because it occurs just after the starting line, whereas reverse it occurs just before. Because you can get it before your lap actually starts, and then you can get it again at the very end. Let's see if we can get the double. No. It's very finicky, and this is what happens when you fail it. You basically get teleported into the wall. If you've ever seen a Lucas Ghost basically driving in thin air, it's because it glitched out on that wall, and then its pathing got bugged. But hopefully this video helped. If you have any questions or you think there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments. Thank you, and goodbye.